But no, we had a big Raw. We had a big Raw. That's why this is it's all preface. All a preface to the big Raw, because that's on Netflix, and everybody, that's where the world is headed, onto the net to watch their flicks. And they had 11,000 people in Kansas City, as I mentioned earlier. And holy, it's not the Kemper Arena anymore. I was at the same building and they renamed it. Or when's the last time you were in Kansas City?
Never.
Well, see, I thought you were a world traveler and we're all cultured and been everywhere. You've never been to the Golden Ox Steakhouse in Kansas City? Then you have never had a piece of cattle byproduct in your mouth, son, if you have not gone there. That was purely not even a paid promo, just a recommendation.
That was raw.
I wonder if the Golden Ox is still there. That was raw. The Golden Ox was closed, so we left. This is a long program also, but now I'm thinking, okay, you know, they can't just build up to WrestleMania every week. It can't be a every week just cataclysmic events. And it's probably going to be another 6 or 8 weeks before they have another pay-per-view. And then I realized they got another pay-per-view, 2 fucking weeks now? Is Backlash? It's lashing back at us.
A week and a half, somewhere around there, yeah.
Is it what's the date? May the 10th? If that's the case, it would be to 23 weeks after the 2 nights of WrestleMania, which is it's quick to come back. But the show-long drama here was between, of all people, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Because they opened the show with Seth and Braun and Paul Lee coming out to the ring, and boy, again, you know, Braun immediately fits in with a suit. He looks like $1 million, like a top fucking star, coming out with the other top stars. But the fans are they're woeing for Seth. They're cheering. They cheer when he mentioned that he won WrestleMania. And when he mentioned Punk and Reigns, there was some boos for them because he was mentioning them. But then they got some chants going. And when Seth says, "We are the future of this industry," they cheer him. So this is it's a personal appearance where you get to see the great actors, you know, playing their greatest dramatic scenes on stage, right? It doesn't make, could he eat a baby or, you know, do something cruel to a goddamn dachshund and they would still go, whoa, whoa.
As long as it's a hook. I mean, you need a hook.
Maybe that's the thing. He's going to do it with a hook.
What do you think of Braun Breaker out there? Made you forget all about Wardlow. Kind of had that look, but chiseled, and it was like, wow, there's Wardlow.
There's a name that I haven't thought of or heard in a long time. Is he still getting paid to be invisible?
I believe he moved back to Bulgaria.
Well, I heard there was an open apartment. So it's funny, this Bulgarian-American pipeline we got. Anyway, Seth says they're the future of the industry. Everybody cheers him. Sammy's music plays, and Sammy comes out and gets cheered. And Sammy came as a friend to tell Seth this is a load of crap. You knock Punk and Roman, but the one thing that they had in common, him, pointing at Paul Lee, is with you. And maybe you're just jealous, and blah, blah, blah. And then they started arguing about what their vision for the future is, because Seth, obviously, the heel is not saying I did this for selfish reasons. I stabbed these people in the back to get ahead. He said, I did it for everybody. I did it for the good of the company. And now the heel tells his longtime friend of 20 years, because they go back 20 years with each other, I want you to get out of harm's way. Get transferred to SmackDown. Get off of Raw. This is not a threat. It's an offer. You'll be safe. We won't have to hurt you. So, is this the first time in history that a heel has ever actually begged a guy? And yeah, they're going to come back and do more of this, but he's begging the guy.
Let me send you away. Please.
Yes. Please, I don't want to do anything bad.
Just go over here. And by the way, how did they get the decision-making ability to do this?
Well, because of the wise man. Because he's got, pictures of Aldous when he was, in that lingerie at that drag show in Bolivia. But
you heard about that? No, go ahead.
Well, there was one cell phone camera. But then that's the show long deal. And let's go ahead and instead of breaking it up, let's continue. Because later on, they had Sami Zayn in the locker room and Paul sits down next to him and blows off Fat Otis. Like, yeah, give us a second. And Paulie has the heart-to-heart talk with him. We're OG bloodline. And Paul gives the Paul speech. He says, Braun wants a match with you, but Seth is offering you a pass. You get traded to SmackDown, and Sammy, you will face the winner of Cena and Orton for the world title. And it's what you've dreamed of. You can live in the future or die in the past. And then he leaves him to think about it. And he goes around the corner and he passes Braun Breaker that's there smiling and rubbing his hands together and twirling his waxed mustache. So, does Sammy really need to be the world champion if he can't tell that a fucking guy that wants to beat the shit out of him is 7 feet around the corner?
He's always having this emotional conflict with everything.
He's a very emotional person.
Yeah.
So then later on in the back, Jey Uso wished Sammy well and do what's best for you, right? And then Sammy walked off and the camera froze on Jey for a while, and then Logan Paul's fist came in and knocked Jey out. So Sami Zayn gets wished well by a friend of his, walks 20 feet away and doesn't hear the fucking guy get the shit knocked out of him. But anyway, and they did it all night. Finally, the time has arrived. Seth Rollins is in the ring. And he calls Sammy out again to talk it out. And they play the music and Sammy comes out again. Did we ever establish why Sami Zayn dresses like Fidel Castro?
I was wondering the same thing. He's always buttoned up to the neck. I mean, just what? There's nothing.
But the army fatigue fucking shirt thing and the cap. He's not going for the combat boots.
He's not a revolutionary. He lives in the safety of Montreal.
Well, Seth is the revolutionary.
In what way?
Well, he's a visionary.
What's the vision?
He's a reactionary.
What's he reacting to?
The dictionary. Hold on. Anyway, Seth says, look, I'm in a tough spot here. We're friends. We've been friends for 20 years. And he still tell him, I don't want you to anything bad to happen to you. And I wrote, this is taking so long. But Seth is like, we're the way forward for the best future. For the company. For all of us. Isn't the heel supposed to say, fuck everybody? I want to be me. I want good for me. I want to run things. I want everything to be good for me.
Yeah, it's like Death Riders bullshit. Like, we're doing this to save the company and save the future.
Yeah.
How? Why? For who? For what? Forget about it.
Sammy, forget about it. Sammy, that you don't believe in me, it hurts. Because when my baby was born, I called you first. Wait a minute. It's supposed to be the other way around. When Seth's baby was born, shouldn't have Sammy called him and said, hey, congratulations. I heard you had a baby. But Seth's baby was born and he called Sammy. Maybe Sammy didn't give a shit that he had a baby.
I just want you to know we had a baby. We're registered at Babies R Us.
It was 9 pounds and 2 ounces. It was 22 inches long. So he called Sammy apparently for kid advice, and Sammy gave him some kid advice. So now I want to give you advice, Sammy. Take my advice that could save your life. Now they're threatening to kill him. Now, there's a difference between, even though we've been friends, we got to take this thing over. So if you get in our way, we got to beat you up. But now, no, we're going to kill you. If you stay on Raw and you don't believe me, bad things are going to happen. And he starts begging him. He's begging. He said, literally used the word, I'm begging you, Sammy. Leave. Don't make me do this. Look what you made me do. Don't make me hurt you. And Sammy responded and said, hey, our kids play together. After he just threatened to kill him. You threatened to kill my son's daddy. Duddy? And Sammy said, I think you're playing games. I've confided in you that the WWE title means so much and you dangle it in front of me, but have you ever known me to run away? I wrote, my God, this is a Lifetime movie. And Sammy said, you're threatening me. I can live with being a target, but not being threatened, because when I wrestle and win the WWF title, it'll be on my own and not with your help. So now, as a friend of yours, Seth, go to hell. And then they pray. I was praying it'd be over.
And then they prayed. It was a real twist there.
Yes, it was.
Seth was such a nice heel. He was trying to save this guy.
And then he dunked him in a bucket of water. No, they played Braun Breaker's music, and I was like, finally. But before we talk about this match, again, this is the most dramatic, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching. Do grown adult men speak to each other in this feeling fashion?
Well, this is kind of the issue in a way with the Cody Rhodes stuff recently. Where he didn't, not even cheat, he didn't take advantage of the situation in front of him and he got made to look like a fool. WWE's baby faces are always weak and kind of, again, Bob Backlund-ish baby face for no good reason. Like,
now come on.
I'm all about being good and doing good. What's wrong with you?
But hold on now. AEW's been much worse with the weak babyface department, you've got to admit, but they haven't been weak until here lately.
I'm not even saying
weak. A lot of them have, weaker. A lot of them have easily hurt feelings, it seems like, or whatever over there. That's just... But yeah, it's a long interview with a lot of heartfelt whatever.
I mean, the whole show was built around this. It was a show long, Alfred Heyman presents. And it was his drama in 3 parts.
Well, then they ought to play Funeral March of the Marionette for when Braun comes out. But nevertheless, here came Braun and we're going to have a match. And I'm like, well, thank God, because at least in this case, they have a main event match that's going to be better than their usual main event promo spot that they put in. And Braun Breaker is a pro wrestler doing pro wrestling things. I'm amazed. He shoots a guy off and gives him an elbow. Glory, hallelujah. Again, it's odd in today's world, but this guy's a fucking superstar. And they had a good match because Sammy can work and he's a fucking ragdoll when he sells and he fights from underneath. And then finally, he foiled a spear and went for the kick, but Braun hit him with a spear and then hit him with a second spear. And then he's laying there selling, and Seth again leads to Sammy, take the deal. Take the deal. And Sammy, go to hell. And he got another spear. And then Sammy rolled to the floor at Seth's feet, and the referee called for the medical and said, yeah, hold on here. And Seth gives Braun the little signal, and Braun jumps out on the floor and loops around the ring and hits him with a super spear. Poor Sammy. I don't know if he's going to make it. They could be going to take his life. Certainly the fans are incensed, and the fans are chanting, one more time. One more time.
Yeah, they loved it.
God damn. Shoot Bambi's mother again. One more time. And the referee called for the bell to stop the heels from doing any more damage to Sami Zayn, and the fans booed him. And they started chanting one more time again. And, you know, in all honesty, Zayn should have bled from the mouth. That's the only way they could have made this any better. But in front of, I mean, anybody until the last couple of, any crowd, I shouldn't, until the last couple of years, they would, oh, Jesus Christ. Now they're like, yeah, fucking fuck him up. And then while the doctors were checking on Sammy, Seth ran in and gave him the curb stomp. And the fans were singing Seth's song when they were going off the air. Whoa, as they went off the air. And they love Sammy, but they don't care. It's all phony, and they're just cheering people doing shit now. And this has really ramped up in the last, 3 or 4 months. But it wouldn't be fun anymore to be a heel. Because even if it's like they were with Dominic, or they do with Logan Paul, they, still boo him, thankfully. I mean, you used to be able to feel legitimate heat in the building, where when you had 8 or 10,000 people or whatever it was, and I'm talking 70s and 80s, when they legitimately hated you and you could feel it, you knew it. Now, sometimes that created hairy situations when the legitimate hate went too far, but you could feel that. That was a heel's thing. And even when they started booing, but you could tell they were just kind of fun booing, and they didn't really want to see you hit by a car or wouldn't knife you or whatever. At least that was some kind of feedback. And it wasn't as good as the we want to knife you kind of heat, but it was some. But now, no matter what you would do, people would cheer for it. What the fuck?
I don't think it's no matter what you would do. You have to be a babyface worth cheering beyond like, yeah, I always have liked him. There has to be a reason. When Sami Zayn comes out there and his only reason is, hey, I see you guys out here having fun, so I thought now's the time for me to stop the fun. The entire arena's having a great time with Heyman and Rollins and Braun Breaker. I just thought it was time for me to do my speech and really give you a lot of guilt. What the fuck?
But that's the point. They're having great fun with the bank robbers counting their fucking loot. I mean, they do heinous things to other people and hit people in the nuts and stab friends in the back, and people, yeah. That's what I said the other day. Get him down in the ring and butt fuck him. Yeah, give it to him harder. We want to see yes.
Who's the big baby face in WWE to stand up against them that won't be made to look like a fool?
Hopefully Cody, if he can get his balls up out of his watch pocket from where they've been punted and do something about it. Hopefully Cody. Orton, they're not gonna boo him, I don't think, under any circumstances. But they're just all having fun, and it just hurts my heart as a legitimate heel.
I like it. I like the idea that Sami Zayn is a babyface for no reason. Got laid out, and the fans were chanting and one more time. Like they just wanted more death. Yeah, we've had enough of him. It's time for him to go.
Hit him again. Like, give De Niro a baseball bat in a movie and let him just cave some fucker's head in.
Well, that was WWE Raw.
Well, there was there anything else? Actually, I'm looking at the notes.
Oh, did you see
Gunther and McAfee? Well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, did you see Lyra and Becky?
I saw some of it, but Becky can talk. She's got a lot of energy. She's got a lot of fire. But then she started in on old Lyric, and I saw Lyric come out, and I cared less, and they got in kind of a sloppy fight where they swing their arms and don't really hit anybody, much like the other girls did.
Did you see that thing on SmackDown the other day with Naomi?
Oh, no, I saw the one with Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Roxanne Perez, where they all fucking hit each other with flailing arms without hitting anything.
I'm going to show you. You keep talking. I'm going to send you a link to the mother of all these incidents.
Oh, good Lord. What is that? It's not only that, but it's HD television now. It's high def. It's not a goddamn VHS camcorder at ringside anymore. Why do people think that in this day and age of television and technology, they can just swing their fists within a foot or so of somebody's head or body and obviously make no contact and think that their motion is going to make up for it? Why is that even a thing? I don't understand.
Well, the one I just sent you, it's an official WWE video. So after it happened, they still put it up. But it's I just sent it to you. You'll get it shortly. I saw this on SmackDown and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I wonder if anyone else saw this. And then immediately the video started going around. It's worse than Dark Order. Like when they were just punching the mat. God. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's just terribly entertaining in watching it. Some people have attached some slam dance music to it and various things. There's been various videos going around.
Well, I should mention before it shows up, because it's still not. There it is. All right. In that case, I will. Should I just click on this now?
Why not?
I'm clicking on this now. What's the worst that could happen? And it starts right there. Oh, good Lord. She looks like she's either having a spasm or attempting to have some kind of. She's using Jade Cargill like a Sibian. Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And she missed her on a slap.
Not one blow. Like her hands are, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like she's punching.
No, ladies and gentlemen, she straddled Jade Cargill and then just began flinging her fists up and down, attempting to swing in the neighborhood of Jade's head and arms. And at the same time, she was snapping her head back like she was riding a mechanical bull at Gillies. And kind of a toddler having a temper tantrum.
Yeah, this was her attacking the big bodybuilder Jade in the middle of the match. And she just went on her and just started dancing on her. I don't know how to explain that.
But and she's got her stuck in a corner, and it's just silly looking blows now. And good heavens. Well, they do that kind of thing over there, don't they? And I was going to mention Gunther and McAfee, and you were right, but I didn't believe. I don't know whether I want to see this or not, because I can't believe that they would want Gunther to be competitive with McAfee in a match at this current time. I thought they were giving Gunther something since he lost, the title at WrestleMania. Well, fucking beat up the announcer, get suspended, take some time off. But they're going to have a fucking match, and unless Gunther just beats the teetotal piss out of him and won't finish him off, and somebody else in Gunther's future comes to help Pat, then I don't like that they're doing this. And I know he played in the NFL, but now, I'm sorry, he's established as an announcer, and he's never been a great wrestler. And the last time, I think about a year and a half ago, didn't he enter the Royal Rumble and climb out in fear rather than be touched? Remember that one?
That was after his feud with Adam Cole in NXT. Remember that one?
Yeah, so point is, no, this does not need to be a competitive contest between Gunther and Pat McAfee. But he did a promo that I bet he worked on for a while. I expected to hear the fucking Green Acres patriotic music playing in the back of it as he started really getting into it. The Battle Hymn of the Republic. But anyway, we're gonna see that soon. So that's and there was some other things, and we don't care on Raw.
I guess not. That was WWE Raw. Those are your only thoughts about the Pat McAfee. What do you think of calling Michael Cole the GOAT, the greatest of all time?
Well, I'm not opposed to it. He just didn't bother to mention what he was the greatest of all time at. So that would help narrow it down a little bit so that we'd know.
Is Michael Cole the greatest wrestling commentator of all time?
Oh, good God, no. And I mean, that's not even an insult to Michael Cole. And I don't know whether Michael Cole would want to be called that legitimately. It's his friend cutting a promo. So, but that doesn't mean he's the shits. I mean, There have been plenty of fucking shitty announcers too, but
He had years where he
if
was the shits.
if you're talking about, and he had Vince producing him and holding him back too. But if you're talking about, the greatest of all time, it has to be between JR, Lance Russell, Gordon Soley, and who else can I be
Yeah.
thinking of?
He's not only is he not the greatest of all time, he's not even the greatest on Monday Night Raw of all time.
But it's not his fault. Because he's better than Art Donovan.
He wasn't on Raw. That was a pay-per-view. King of the Ring.
I remember I was there. And I think that was the same night that the governor was there. And his name was Governor Schaefer, but Lawler called him Governor Budweiser. Because Schaefer beer was, I don't know if they had it all over the place, but it was a famous discount beer down south that Norman Frederick Charles, the Royal Kangaroo, liked to drink. And Lawler called Governor Schaefer Governor Budweiser, and it caused an incident.
So Gunther versus Pat McAfee is one of the top matches now, obviously, for this pay-per-view. Is that the issue? There's no way, you can't envision really them doing it without it being competitive, but for all logical booking reasons, in no way should it be a competitive match.
Well, no, and I'm not saying that McAfee shouldn't throw a blow. I'm saying that, after some carefully orchestrated things that will get people happy about Pat and make Pat look like a man standing up for himself, Gunther needs to just beat the goddamn shit out of him with no real particular great comeback, I don't think. And somebody would theoretically want to help poor Pat at that point.
Well,
that's what I'd do.
That was WWE Raw